Vinyl community, YouTube, welcome to the Cosmic Realm. This is Cosmic Vinyl, I'm Cosmic Brian, and we are Cosmic? Cheers, y'all. A little Miller Lite, kicking a little Miller Lite in the realm tonight. I put my lips in the can instead of like over it. That was weird. Now I got like a Miller Lite mustache. Anyway, what you guys doing? Oh, me too. Don't tell anybody though. Alright. This isn't a contest video, but this is a tag video. I mean, I didn't even know there was a tag thing going around until, turn the goddamn thing down and try to do a goddamn video! Alright, I'll do it myself. I'm a little verklempt up here in the realm again. I got an air conditioner up here, but I'm a little bit hot tonight. The kid is hot tonight! Whoa! So hot tonight! But where will he be tomorrow? A little pitchy dog. Just a little bit pitchy dog. Alright. How about some comic relief? Hello there! I am the cosmic king of crime, known as the Joker! Boom! Get out, sucker! Alright, let's get down to business here. Oh, what we're listening to here. A band I didn't even realize was a local commodity. Back in the 70s, recorded an album just in a studio just outside of Fort Dodge called Westminster Studios. A band called Locust. Didn't even realize they were a local scene, and I've had this record for quite a while. I'm dumb. Alright, glasses mind shield's coming off, glasses going on. Woo! Oh god, it's so bright in here. It's burning my eyes. Keep it from biting the song! Not a real seizure. Oh, okay, time to cool down a little bit, homeboy. Alright, okay. So I'm tuning in to, I'm trying to catch up on my videos of people that I'm subscribed to, right? And my friend Alex from Alex Record Room, who has a killer channel, by the way, he was talking about a tag video, and I didn't even know there was one going around from a channel that I don't know how I didn't know about it, but the channel is called the Accusation Network. The fella's name is Matt. Hi, Matt. I'm Brian, Cosmic Brian from Cosmic Vinyl. Yeah, we're shaking hands. Yeah, nice to meet you, fella. Peace. Anyway, Matt, I'm just going to be honest and transparent here, as the Cosmic Brian always is. I apologize, I don't know a lot about your channel. In fact, the first video I watched actually was the tag video because of Alex Record Room. And so I don't know how come I haven't stumbled upon your channel previously, but the channel is very polished, very professional, very well produced. You can tell that Matt puts in a lot of time and is very technically savvy to be able to put together the videos that he does. So I look forward to perusing Matt's catalog of videos, which I will do as soon as I take part in the old Tagarooski. So the tag is a 13 question tag, lucky number 13. And so I'm just going to jump right into it. number one is pick a record label and then show your favorite record from that record label. Well, now my favorite record label doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best record label that I like to listen to all the music from that label, or that I pick up everything from that label. I went with my favorite record label because of how cool the label is. It looks cool. And I like a lot of the subject matter that's put out on the label. It's mostly bubblegum, which you know from my bubblegum series that I'm currently working on, this third installment. But it is Buddha Records. And that's the Buddha label right there. My God, how can you not think that that's the coolest label that ever existed? It's so psychedelic. The colors are cool. It's like this iridescent coolness to it. But the album that I chose, might not be my favorite, but I've shown so much of records from the Buddha label that I wanted to show something I hadn't shown yet. And it's this Lemon Pipers album. It's called Jungle Marmalade, and I did not show it, this Lemon Pipers, on my first installment of the bubblegum series that I did. But God, look at that. That's such a cool, it's got the jar of marmalade there, and the guys, they look actually psychedelic there. And this album does have psychedelic leanings to it as well. I mean, it's also got the, Buddha label they had writers that, that they put in and wrote songs, bubblegum songs that they wanted on their albums, regardless of what the band thought. So, but there is some cool stuff like Love Beads and Meditation, Mirrors, Wine and Violet, I Need Someone, the Painter. I mean, this has got some psych leanings to it, and I really, really dig this a lot. I like this way better than the Green Tambourine album by the Lemon Pipers. So, anyway, Lemon Pipers is on the Buddha label. That's my first entry. The second is an album cover whose artwork is truly bizarre. I've got a lot of album covers that are bizarre or just odd or weird or colorful or crazy or outlandish or groovy or, okay, just stop with the adjectives, will you? You're not that cool. Jesus, nobody thinks you're cool. Anyway, I chose to show something by a group called the Gentrys. Now, you get a first look at this. You see a sun, and you think, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I started to really look at this. This is actually truly is bizarre. It's actually quite frightening, to be honest. He's got all these weird folds, and I don't know, it looks like he's either got a set of women's breasts right there on his nose bridge, or maybe it's a set of testicles. I don't know, but it's an odd look. I mean, it almost looks like there's a woman's body there. I mean, and he's got a couple of asses that come together for his chin there. And he's got some stubble. I mean, this is a bizarre cover. Woo! Ah! Don't look into the eye of the Gentry, son. Anyway, here's the guys from the Gentrys. You may recognize this fella right here as the Mouth of the South. He was a manager on WWE Wrestling at one time. His name, what is his name? His name is Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart. He was the lead singer of the Gentry, so there you go. Anyway, that's my my album cover whose artwork is truly bizarre. Alright, coming in at number 3 is an album in my collection that is absolute worst shape. or as I like to call it, it's roached, man. That album cover is truly roached. You know, and it's not just the cover, it's in the worst shape. It's scratched, it pops. It's scratched, it pops, it skips, etc. At first I thought it might be this Mahavishnu Orchestra Birds of Fire. That thing is, I mean, it's got water damage, it's split, it's stained. I mean, it's got multiple wounds, and but the record itself, not the worst, but it's definitely got some issues for sure. But as I thought about it, and I realized, I don't think that's my worst one. I think this Earth, Wind, and Fire might be in a little bit worse condition. This thing is got a gatefold. It's coming out the side here. This also has water damage. You can see even what might be considered some sort of mildew stains right there. And it's too bad because this album cover is a killer. It's got a killer gatefold. But I don't even know why I kept this around. I'll never play this. This thing is toast. It's beaten shit. I've never played this album. I don't even know why I still have it. I thought that maybe I might save it for, I don't know, like something to do with the cover. But the cover's roached, so likely not. A band, next number 4 is a band or artist with only one album. I went with, it's a good one too. I mean, I like it. It is Turn On the Music Machine by The Music Machine. It features the song Talk Talk. This is kind of a 60s garage rock band. You can tell it by their typical, what do they call those haircuts? Like bowl cut haircuts, or the shag, or the bob, or whatever those are called. But it's got some cool songs. It's got the Talk Talk. It's also got a lot of cover songs, probably more than they really wanted to do. I think they wanted to do their own thing, but the label pressured them into doing a bunch of covers, and I'm not sure what happened, but they were only able to pull off this one album. I think the thing about the guys in the band, they all wore like a black glove on their left hand, and I think that's what this represents right here, the glove turning the dial there. But regardless, I love this album. Definitely belongs in anybody who likes the 60s garage genre. I thought this next one was an interesting question. A band or artist, or wait, show an album, it's number 5. Show an album with a song whose lyrics reference the band by name. Got to swill back on my Miller Lite. Now this is a 80s, I call it metal, you'll call it whatever you want, but 80s metal hard rock album I just picked up, and I was so happy because I got this a lot cheaper than I should have, let's put it that. But this is Skid Row's debut album, self-titled. So the band is called Skid Row, and of course you guys know the story of Skid Row with Sebastian Bach, and discovered by John Bon Jovi, and they were great for a couple albums, but they just could not get along, the band and their singer Sebastian Bach. But on the song Youth Gone Wild, which was the opening hit on this great rock 80s rock song, it goes, I said, hey man, there's something you ought to know. I tell you, Park Avenue leads to Skid Row. I'm not going to sing it again, but it does say, Hey man, that's something you ought to know. I tell you, Park Avenue leads to Skid Row. Great lyrics. Sebastian Bach was a great lyricist, or great vocalist. I don't care what anybody has to say. Whether or not the band wants him in the band or not, he still can belt it out. This is a great pickup for me, by the way. It is, it's definitely from 87, I believe, or 89, from when it was released. So I call it an OG, but it is from the, I think it might be that, like a BMG Record Club copy. So anyway, Skid Row with, they mentioned their own name in the song Youth Gone Wild. Number 6, an album that everyone considers either amazing or important, but is merely decent or okay to you. Alright, this is gonna get me, this might even get, this might get me, someone out there in the vinyl community may put a hit on me for doing this. So thank you very much, Matt, for including this in your tag. But now I just want you to know that I am a fan of this artist. I wasn't always a fan of this artist. In fact, I kind of had to grow on me as I got older. But I'm gonna go with the art. I'm just gonna say the artist rather than the album. But I was just always thought that Bob Dylan was overrated. I'm sorry. I was never into his music that much. I really wasn't. And even this greatest hits album couldn't bring me fully around, even though it's got like just great songs on it. I didn't come around. The album that I had to end up getting that finally brought me into the fold, I mean, he's still not one of my favorite artists, but the album that finally got me into the fold was this album right here, which is Blonde on Blonde. I ended up getting that album in a very cheap when I bought a collection. It was in it, and I decided to give it a spin, and I loved it. So, but just letting you know, don't throw rocks, all right? But yeah, Bob Dylan. Number 7, an album that fans of the genre might have missed. Okay, as a lot of you know out there, I am a big power pup. I'm a power pup. Woof, woof, woof. I'm a power pup. Woof, woof. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I am a power pop fan, and I happen to really enjoy that era of music, like the late 70s, early 80s. And the power pop album that some other fans of the genre may have missed is this album here by a group called The A's. It's a self-titled album by The A's, and you can tell they're kind of the typical power pop album cover. Got the 4 guys, well, I guess there's 5 guys. This guy kind of looks like he may have snuck in. I don't think he belongs in the band. The other guys all have leather jackets. This guy's got like a beret, and I guess on the back he's got a leather jacket. But anyway, one guy's even got saddle shoes on. Woohoo! Nice fashion statement, buddy. But anyway, this is great power pop. It's kind of quirky, funny. After last night, he talks about this like bad date he was on and how it traumatized it, and probably he'll never be able to date again because it was such a bad. And the next song is about the CIA, how he used to work for the CIA. It's very quirky, but it's definitely fast power pop. It puts the power in power pop. So. There's a song on here called Teenage Jerk Off, which is, yeah, it's pretty fun. So anyway, yeah, I love this album. This is one of my favorite power pop albums I came across. Just happened to be a blind buy, and I dig it. So the A's, something maybe not everybody fans of the power pop realm might know about. Let's see. Number 8 is Show a Beloved album from 1980, which it's the 40th anniversary of 1980. So I'm going to show an album that came out in 1980, and I chose to show Van Halen, Women and Children First. What a great record. I always loved, of the early Van Halen stuff, the David Lee Roth era stuff, I always loved Women and Children First and Fair Warning. I always put those two right together as a pair, and I absolutely love both of those records. So cool. Look at David Lee Roth there. Look at all the band right there. They're just on their game right there. Great party rock. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that for party rock. But 1980 ushered in the Van Halen Women and Children First. Love it. Number 9, an album that represents a musical departure for a band or artist. So I chose this Ramones album, End of the Century. Now this was a Ramones album that was produced by one Phil Spector. Actually, just by looking at the cover, you can tell that he already is steering them in a direction that they obviously weren't going in before. They all have colored t-shirts on. They look like the Wiggles, for Christ's sake, on the cover. They don't have their signature leather jackets on. They're all even kind of posy, their hair, and they got maybe even makeup. And I can tell that Johnny is not thrilled with what's going on here. But yeah, Phil Spector wanted to kind of take them down the pop rabbit hole with songs like Do You Remember Rock and Roll Radio? Baby I Love You, a kind of a ballad type love song. Yeah, this was definitely something out of the Ramones' comfort zone. And I think Phil Spector just wanted to see a big hit out of them. And I don't think the Ramones would have minded a big hit. I mean, I think they wanted, in all honesty, I think the Ramones really would have liked to have had a little bit more success than they did. Sure, they're going to be legends and in the punk rock realm, but I think they would have liked to have got a little bit more cheddar than they did. You know what I mean? All right, so moving right along here. Number 10, a band or artist you avoided in your youth, but that you really are big on or really dig on now. That tasted like piss. Last drink. Gotta crack another Miller. Gotta have another pint. We're gonna have a pint of Miller. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, that's cold and it's so good. So very good. Alright, what was I saying again? Number 10, a band or artist you avoided in their youth, but now you're really digging. I mean, I can't say that I wasn't aware of this artist, because I do remember a hit song he had on the radio called Hot Child in the City. But I would never admit to my friends, my heavy metal vomit friends, vomit party friends, that I liked Nick Gilder. But I enjoy Nick Gilder a lot, man. Check out the little twinkle in his eye. Can you guys see that twinkle right there in his eye in the corner of his... There's a little twinkle. It's so cute. Look how cute he is. Okay, I'm not gay. I'm just saying. You know, I can appreciate when God makes something beautiful. Anyway, that's Nick Gilder's... I don't know if it's his first album, but the earliest one that I have. You know who you are. But anyway, Nick Gilder, and then this is the one that has Hot Child in the City on it. And this is a great record too. I love this record, Frequency. So yeah, Nick Gilder kind of grew on me throughout the years. So I'm now a Nick Gilder fan. Alright, number 11. An album cover you'd likely not show your sweet little old granny. Alright. If I came to my grandmother with this, she would. It's called "It's a Beautiful Day." It's their self-titled record. If I came to her with this, she'd say, "Shut up, you wussy! Now go get me a fucking beer." And can't you see I'm trying to get ready to go see the male strippers? Now get your ass in the kitchen and grab me a swill, you little brat. So if I showed her this, she would definitely be offended. So, yeah, I would never have showed her this record. I would have got whooped upside the head and called a pussy. Actually, my grandmother was very Christian oriented. Probably would have freaked if I showed her this. Devil baby. Alright, number 12, show an album that has a childhood significance for you and tell the viewers why. The viewers! You are going to get told why. I've shared this story before, but on a video, but this is my favorite David Bowie album. This is Low. And I once had this fever dream where I dreamt of this album. I know it sounds weird, but I'll tell it quickly. I had an infected tooth or some kind of abscess in my face or jaw or something. I went to the dentist. I had this surgery, blah, blah, blah. He put me, I was already wiped out from when they put me in the gas and all that stuff. But then he gave me these powerful pain pills. I think they were like Darvon, or I don't remember. But for a kid of, an early teenage kid, probably 13 maybe, I don't know. When did this album come out? But anyway, I had this on 8-track, and I had one of those stereos that had all the components in one, like the 8-track cassette, turntable, AM, FM radio. And I popped in the 8-track, and on an 8-track, it'll just play through all 4 channels. It just keep popping over. And as I fell asleep on the pain pills, I was listening to this album. And if you know this album, it's very experimental. And Brian Eno helped. He produced this, and he did a lot. There's a lot of ambient stuff on side 2 that's just really out there. And I just remember hearing this, my subconscious picking it up, and I had this fever, and from the meds and the sickness and the infection and the pain meds and everything, and I went into this thing where Bowie was had these robes on, and he was leading me through all these different dimensions, and he was showing me things, and it was all so cosmic, if you will, and it was just so crazy. And when I finally came to, I'd been probably 8 hours. I'd been just letting this thing play and play and play, and I had sweated into my pillow and sheets and everything. It was just so bizarre, but I will love this record forever due to that. So there you go, little cosmic vinyl, a little cosmic Brian history there. I have a video. You can go back in my history. You'll see it. Last question, number 13. An album for which the band, the album, and the title track are all the same. I couldn't think of very many, but then I seen this on the Mighty Uni label, which I'll show because it's an amazingly good piece of artwork. I love the Uni label. Look at that. Very colorful with the swirl, and it's a nice nice piece of art here too with the record, but the album is called A Giant Crab Comes Forth. And look at that, it's a beautiful cover. Look at that crazy crab on the back. Ah, he's giant, he's coming forth. It's the self-titled album by the group called A Giant Crab Comes Forth. The album is called A Giant Crab Comes Forth. The opening track is called A Giant Crab Comes Forth. And it's kind of set like, remember the Orson Welles thing where like the War of the Worlds thing that played on the radio? It's kind of set up like that, only on vinyl. It's got these little interludes of like radio personnel telling about this giant crab that's conquering the city and the town or whatever, in between what is like basically sunshine, psychedelic sunshine rock, and just some real, it's a cool album. Definitely something that I dig. So yeah, on the Mighty Uni label, A Giant Crab Comes Forth. And that wraps up my my vinyl tag for what is it? The Accusation Network. My new friend, hopefully my new friend Matt. So tune into his channel, the Accusation Network, and check him out. The videos are quite, they're very shiny and pretty and well done. So Matt, nice job. Thanks for doing the tag. Thank you, vinyl community and YouTube. As always, there's cheers to you. And for God's sake, vinyl community, lock your windows, lock your doors, because when a giant crab comes forth, it'll be a deluge of seminal flu. What did I just say?